Congress is rushing to finish legislative business before the August recess, but it looks unlikely that they'll get to some of the Obama administration's highest priority items, things like climate change and immigration. It's also been a week of backtracking for White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs. Democrats were riding a wave of bad press for the GOP, what with Joe Barton's BP apology and John Boehner's comment about the ant. But after Gibbs's remarks that Republicans have a shot at taking back the House, the Republicans have a new talking point, saying even the Obama administration understands that they're losing. And that leaves the Democrats scrambling to save face. And with me now to talk about that is Jill Jackson, our congressional correspondent. Jill, welcome.
Thank you.
What can they get done? It looks like there's a lot of time between now and the election, but there really isn't, is there?
There really is not. It's about 3 months away, and we have the most definite thing, or as definite as they get in these times, is the Senate will pass Wall Street reform tomorrow. That's the last step after the House passed the conference report before the July 4th recess. So once they pass that tomorrow, Reid says he has the 60 votes, and then it will head to the president, which he will probably sign next week.
Okay, so in this White House bucket list of things they'd like to get Congress to do, what else? You've got that. You've got unemployment benefit extension.
Unemployment benefit extensions, which they're going to have to wait until West Virginia Governor Joe Manchin appoints someone to fill Robert Byrd's seat after he passed away. That they tried numerous times, 3 times, to pass unemployment insurance, failed every time. They need 1 vote, and so they have to wait for that appointment. In addition to unemployment insurance, although one more thing on that, Manchin's going to name his replacement by 5 p.m. on Friday, so that could happen as early as next week. In addition to that, the Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid said that he wants to bring up energy legislation the week of July 26th.
Oh, but come on.
Well,
can they really? I mean, it doesn't really look like they can get the votes. Why does he bring it up then?
It's going to be very, very difficult. He needs to bring it up, though, because it's one of the big 3 on President Obama's agenda that he set out. One was health care, one was education, and actually you could say 4 with Wall Street reform. And so the Senate has to take it up. The House passed it last summer. It's been dead in the water for a long time. And it really still could be dead in the water. Reid's trying to cobble together different provisions from different bills from different senators, and it's looking like, you know, it will be comprehensive, but it will be much more limited than some of the more liberal members wanted, and probably will go too far for some of his conservative Democrats as well.
So if he brings it up, he still gets credit for bringing it up, and it gives the Democrats a talking point for their campaigns, right?
Exactly, which is huge. Every move that we're seeing on the Senate floor and on the House floor right now has something to do with the November elections.
Okay, so what else? They have to confirm Elena Kagan.
Yes.
For the Supreme Court.
Yes, which that still has not passed out of the Senate Judiciary Committee yet. That will happen next week. But they plan on confirming Kagan by the time they leave for August recess.
That looks like pretty much of a sure thing, right?
It looks like a sure thing. If something very drastic would have to happen between now and that vote for her to not be confirmed. The other item is the Afghanistan war supplemental, which Secretary Gates said he wanted that money to fund the troops in Afghanistan, Obama's troop surge. He wanted that money before the July 4th recess. They couldn't, both the House and Senate couldn't pass the same bill by that point. The House passed a version right before they left by tacking on a summer jobs program and other job provisions that really are not expected to fly in the Senate. So now they're at a point where how are the 2 sides going to work out their differences on that and send that bill to the president? And it's funding that is truly needed as the war is heating up in Afghanistan.
What happens if that gets pushed back past the recess?
Well, already what Gates said is that he would have to start doing some sort of budget gimmicks to move money around to fund the troop surge and operations there. However, I would say there's going to be a lot of pressure on lawmakers to pass that funding by that point.
Okay. So other things that they probably don't get to. Immigration reform.
Immigration reform is not on the list between now and August. Again, this is probably an issue that some think is beneficial to their campaigns. Others, however, would rather they not touch the issue of immigration at all. They'd feel like the message, there was some governors complaining to a New York Times reporter earlier in the week that you know, the message coming out of Washington is not what they want to be talking about out on the field. They want to be talking about jobs.
Right. The governors weren't happy that the president brought it up.
Yes, not happy at all. They feel like it should be jobs, 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 and that immigration is such a contentious issue. It divides so many, and is just not something that you want to tackle when you're in the midst, you're still trying to recover from a recession.
Then you've got the reform of campaign finance laws, also
Yes.
not likely to go anywhere, particularly before an election.
No, they were to cobble 60 votes together in the Senate to change those laws after the Supreme Court's Citizens United decision earlier this year, which basically, it's complicated, but basically would allow corporations to spend as much as, allows corporations to spend as much as they want on campaigns and political ads. It would try and limit that. It passed the House, but the chances in the Senate are very slim.
Not going anywhere. And finally, the New START Treaty, the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty.
That is also something that has not been put on, there's no date set for putting that on the calendar at this point.
Let's talk, Jill, about something that happened earlier this week when Robert Gibbs made the comment on Meet the Press Sunday, saying, "I think there's no doubt," this is Gibbs speaking, "that there are enough seats in play that could cause Republicans to gain control of the House." So, I think that was off the cuff?
That's what the White House is telling House Democrats right now. White House aides are saying it was off the cuff. It was not a plan. That's not the message that they mean to be sending from the White House.
Yeah, but there's a story out today that said the speaker was all riled up about this.
The speaker is very upset. Democrats are very upset. Perception is everything. Voters want to vote for winners. Democrats are already facing a very tough time. It's going to be a tough election. Republicans have to pick up 39 seats. And now, I mean, even this morning, as you said in your introduction, Republicans are using this in their messaging. They're saying even the White House knows that Republicans are poised to take control of Congress. They're going to be able to use that at every press conference on the floor. They're going to be able to use that even to raise money, which is a huge thing between now and November.
So I'm sure it's no accident that somebody leaked the story that in a closed meeting, the Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, dressed down somebody from the White House Legislative Office about Gibbs's comment.
No, apparently she told, she really railed into him saying, "You don't know anything about our campaigns. What do you know?" There's been some resentment over the past year or so from House Democrats anyway that she's expressed to White House aides saying, you know, we've done everything you've asked. The House has passed every piece of legislation that's been a part of the Obama agenda. And where's the credit? It seems like you're not fighting for us.
So the fact that the president is not particularly popular at the moment doesn't help, does it?
It does not. That's something they really want to change the message in terms of the president's poll numbers, all that. And again, like the Democratic governors, they want to get the message back on jobs and what they're doing to improve the economy.
But finally, Jill, it's not unusual, is it, for the members of Congress and the people at the White House to talk past one another?
This is not unusual at all. You have House members very, very focused on 2010 right now, whereas the White House is really probably more concerned with 2012. And that means that sometimes messages will cross.
And that says it all. Jill Jackson, thank you so much.
Thank you.